Mr. Asif, Rameez, Daudi come in here on what India should be, how India should be positioning itself currently. Should we be building our strategic relationship with the US further at this juncture? And also, how should we be safeguarding our citizens? Because at the end of the day, the citizens will have to suffer if stock markets further fall and oil prices further increase.
Well, your question is quite appropriate, and what I have to say in terms of Indian relations and its strategic partners and other bilateral relations with the US, etc., I'll come to that quickly. I know that this is alarming. This is really, really alarming because the Russia-Ukraine crisis, especially the Russian aggression, that poses a threat not only to Ukraine, but to the entire international community. And India is part of the international community. When it comes to China and the Russia's closeness, or Russia is getting closer to China, and the US is there, that is saying that the Russia is going to invade Ukraine. So that is one part, that escalation. Whereas the Russian government is saying that they are, a few hours ago, I was reading the media report, which says that they are about to pull back the troops from Ukraine, or they are trying to, there is a possibility of de-escalation. So here, as other panelists were very rightly mentioning that India is a kind of friend with all these parties. So your question was like whether India should have better strategic relations with the US. I think India already has a very good relation, bilateral relation, etc. And we have seen that at different occasions, So here, like with the main concern for the Indian government and for us could be like how Russia is getting much closer to China. We know the role of China when it comes to Pakistan, when it comes to South Asian countries, and we also know about Afghanistan, etc. So India should be concerned about that and should try to have, it's not easy for India, and it's not even wise for India to take any, proper stand on this. But being silent, as Professor mentioned, that it's a kind of indication that India is in support of, Ukraine. But about the Indian citizens there, we know that today only the Indian embassy there has, released a kind of advisory where they said that if they want to go back, or if they don't have anything important to do there, they can leave the country. So it's a kind of, but the embassy will continue working. So here the question is one more thing that you had in your question is about the hike in different prices, locally as well as internationally. This is also going to have a bigger impact on the international trade, business market, and to destabilize the peace and prosperity, etc. So here, not only the prices there, but if I was reading one of the leading newspaper in this context here in the Arab world, where it says the prices of the gold, even the wheat, etc., that shot, this is going to really shoot. And this is a big concern. What should be the role of India that was there in your question? I think all the panelists have already, spoke so well on that. What I would like to add, that India is having a really, one of the best foreign policies, and we have seen this in different places, meetings, etc. So now here also, we have to wait and watch. We can see, because there are two kinds of, the two sides of the coin we are seeing here. One party, like the US, is trying to, present or project that Russia is trying to escalate this, and they are about to invade Ukraine. Whereas the Russian government is saying that they are not going to invade. So there are two kinds of version. So in this situation, what should be the stand of India? India is, a very good friend of America, and India both, different kinds of ammunitions, etc., from Russia as well recently. So I think that we should wait until some clear picture comes out of this. But the satellite images, if we know, especially in the recent media reports that we have seen, that is the massive buildup of Russian troops in Belarus, Crimea, and Western Russia, that shows the increased military activity, especially in the past 48 hours. And that indicates that Russia is about to invade Ukraine. But if you look at the statements of the political leaders of these parties, it says, especially from the Russia, that amidst the dramatic escalation, the news of possible de-escalation, though it's strange, it can decrease the tension a bit, and it can also decrease the prices of different food grains, etc. So here, areas where Russia has increased its forces, we all know about those areas, mostly located in the north and northeast of Ukraine. And that includes a large air base. We should note that, this is the state of confusion. And that's why I'm saying what should be the India's position. I think India can rather wait and watch, as we did in the Afghanistan scenario. Like now, one side of the story is that Russia is going to invade. And as we know that the escalation, the things that we know, like how the large air base to the southeast of Ukraine and in Crimea, etc., this can be visible. We have seen the media reports. But diplomatically, where the other European nations, the countries are trying to have some kind of diplomatic talks with Moscow and trying to make or put their efforts to diffuse this tension, India can also try to handle the situation diplomatically, because India has always very stronger position that we do not support wars, we do not believe in terrorism, we do not believe in escalating these kinds of relations. Rather, we try to bring peace and prosperity. In this sense, Uday, what I have to say, that in the most recent development of the escalation, is it the kind of the diplomatic talks, or does India play some important role there? Because the US President Joe Biden has already warned Russia that Russia should be ready for the severe consequences. And he mentioned that it's swift and severe cost if its troops proceed with an invasion. And US itself is saying that Russia is about to invade. So there is a confusion that whether Russia is going to invade or not, India is a very stronger partner of America, and India is having good relations with Russia. That's why I think we should wait, because China is also playing very smart, and China is trying to utilize the situation in a way that, because we know that China has a stronger interest whenever it comes to India. And when we talk about China, we can also bring in Pakistan somehow, because they are very closely allied. So here, the US has slammed China that, the President Joe Biden himself said that China is trying to destabilize the security situation in Europe by supporting Russia. So these are the few things that we should really be concerned about, because the possibility of diplomatic path out of the Ukraine crisis, though Russia appeared to continue its preparations for the potential invasion, it seems to be working after I was reading the media reports that Russia is trying to, de-escalate this one, and this could be a good sign, and this can help in bringing peace and prosperity around the region, especially in India, China's, and Indo-Pacific, South Asian, and the entire world.